On this episode of Inside Engineering, we head to Orlando, Florida to talk with Project Manager Lindsey Barnwell about what it's like to be the PM on major construction projects and why she loves her job so much. If you haven't subscribed yet to the show, do it now. If you like this content, we're everywhere: Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Stitcher, and more. Inside Engineering starts right now. Inside Engineering. Untold stories and fascinating people from the world of civil engineering. This is episode 21, recorded in February 2020. Construction, Engineering, and Inspection with Lindsey Barnwell. Inside Engineering is an RK&K podcast. Learn more at rkk.com/podcast. And welcome back to another episode of Inside Engineering. We are once again on the road. Today, we are in Central Florida. We're in our Orlando office. We're excited to be here, and I'm sitting here with Lindsey Barnwell. Good morning, Lindsey. Thanks for taking the time out to do this. You claimed you were nervous, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think you're fine. Lindsey is a project manager. She's worked on a lot of really cool projects. We're going to get into one of those projects today. But first, Lindsey, tell us what it is that you do. Obviously, project manager is just an industry term, but it doesn't describe exactly what you do. So go ahead and walk us through what you do and why you love it.
All right. Oh, I do love it. So internally within RK&K, I am the project manager. I oversee the contracts that we have with our client and making sure that we have a quality product. And I'm in charge of winning those contracts and then managing them throughout. On a job itself, I function as a resident engineer, as a senior project engineer. And in regards to that, basically, our team is tasked with basically making sure that every construction project that we are in charge of is built within reasonable conformity of the contract, the plans, the specs, and that we keep the project moving, try to minimize any impacts, try to facilitate communication, and try to do all of this without sacrificing quality and also managing the client's goals. The client has goals in regards to time and money. So our job really is just to be the interface out there, keep the project moving, try to resolve engineering issues. And
So from a technical standpoint, like in terms of technical skills, what skills are needed to be a project manager and do what you're doing? So if somebody's coming up in the industry and they want to get to where you are, what do you need to know to be out in the field and to look at plans and to make decisions, all those things?
So let me back up. Actually, I work in the CEI. I don't even know that I said it, but that's the construction engineering inspection element. So that's what we're charged with doing, is managing the construction, the engineering, and inspection on the projects. So a lot of the skill sets that we have to have is, sometimes I just think, actually, this sounds simple, but it comes down to instincts and being able to manage issues, sometimes in contentious situations, and making sure that you know what decisions you can make, what decisions you have to bring other experts into. Basically, again, just trying to keep the project moving. So not being afraid of conflict, managing your own team. You have to set standards and making sure that we're, meeting the client's expectations as well as RK&K, our own, and that we're enforcing the contract. So just a lot of issue resolution, potential foresight of issues, using your instincts, engineering judgment.
Well, and those instincts are based on the engineering knowledge that you have. So you have to be able to look at something that's happening, an issue that arises, and like we've said before, every project has issues.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
But you have to be able to look at that issue and make, first of all, an engineering determination as to what's going on, so that you can then either call in that expert or make a call, talk to the client and figure it out. Okay, so let's talk about this specific project that we're looking at. It's a kind of a big deal. So walk us through sort of what you've done and sort of, I guess maybe from the beginning, what the challenge was that the client faced, what the client's trying to accomplish, and how you're involved and where the project has gone along the way.
Our project is basically, it's a $34 million project. We are taking an existing diamond interchange, which is kind of different, and we're actually bringing it down to an at-grade intersection.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you. You said 2 sentences. I'm going to stop you already because I know that there's a lot of work to do the opposite of that, right? Or at least diverging diamond. Maybe that's
totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah,
see,
totally different.
See, that's the nice thing about this podcast, everybody, is that you get to realize how much more you know than me. All right. So we had a diamond interchange.
Existing diamond interchange.
Existing diamond interchange brought down to
at-grade intersection.
Okay. All right. So
now it's what used to be an interchange where traffic free flowed on US 441 is now an actual intersection with a signal. It's now signal control movement.
So why? Okay, so I would say the same thing. Typically, or a lot of times, you would see sort of maybe the opposite of that.
Correct.
You want to make traffic free flow. Right. Why was it decided to make it into an at-grade?
As part of this job is associated with the Wekiva Parkway improvements, was essentially building a beltway or completing the northern beltway around Orlando. I-4 existing, there's 417, which is one loop, and now we're completing that loop. This is improvements associated with that. So with projected traffic improvements, the new flow of traffic is actually going to be getting people onto this Wekiva Parkway roadway. So we are building a flyover ramp, and that is for the new projected increase of traffic. But the main local traffic, which is 441, 46, will now be an at-grade intersection.
Got it. Okay. All right. So it's not totally ignoring the free flow at all.
No, we have some free flow to get those people onto the Wekiva Parkway.
Got it. Okay.
Project. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So there's that.
Yes, there is that. So in that job, there's lots of project improvements. We have a complex bridge that has been built. It is steel girders. The center span, it's a flyover, so it's curved geometry with these big girders. The center span's over 270 feet. So there was lots of challenges, lots of complexities in regards to that. We also had another bridge too, which is just concrete, more traditional bridge that you see. But in regards to that, we also have ITS, roadway, lighting signals, striping improvements that happened. A lot of our job that we are charged with, which I talked about, is making sure that quality is not sacrificed while keeping time and money measurements going, and being cognizant of those. But a big thing that we do is have to be cognizant of the motoring public and how they move through the project and minimize any impacts to them. So we are always looking at how we are moving traffic around to be able to build each component. It's like a puzzle almost. You know, you have to move traffic around so we can build this piece. Then you move traffic around so you can build another piece. So there's a plan in place that the designer comes up with, but we are always looking at ways of how we can improve that and how we can best flow traffic through there, minimize impacts, and keep people moving through the job.
Is that done with traffic modeling in advance? What do you present it with in terms of that part of the project in managing the traffic? What do you have to? So
in our role, there is a what they call maintenance of traffic or traffic control plan actually in the contract documents. Mm-hmm. The contractor implements that, but even prior to moving traffic into a new configuration, we evaluate that and we look for possible ways to improve it. On one of my projects, actually, we did not have left turn lanes, and they just didn't have a way to provide for that left turning movement. So we got with the designer, we looked at suggestions and developed a way to be able to improve capacity and those turning movements and get people out of the way, just to improve the intersection. So there's always things that we're looking to improve prior to it being implemented. After it's implemented, we also look for ways that we can improve the traffic through the job. Of course, we get concerns from the public, and we evaluate those as too. We're just always looking to improve traffic flow through the job.
And it's not just, I imagine you're not just getting feedback from the public before the project. When that new traffic configuration comes in, or temporary configuration comes in, I imagine there's a sudden spike in comments.
Absolutely. Yes.
In how people feel about it. And so
we get lots of comments.
Well, talk about that sort of facet of the job too. That's like people skills to the max. I feel it. You really, what kind of elements are you dealing with there? It's not just the general public. There's other entities that are interested in this going well, and you're managing all that.
Yes, absolutely. So we sometimes there's complaints, And we have to provide that data. We evaluate them and see if there are things that we can do in response to those. For the most part, sometimes we have considered that. And, from a public standpoint, they don't realize you have to move traffic over here sometimes just to build such a small piece. But it's literally a puzzle. We've had 5 foot by 100-foot sections. You're having to move traffic around in a different configuration just to get to that one element because there was something there previously. So, we evaluate those requests. Fortunately, on a lot of our contracts, we have public information consultants. That is their job. They are the face, but we give them all the data that they need to be able to, respond to the public. And of course, we respond to the public directly too, if needed. Yeah.
That's a valuable role. I mean, that's being able to. You want to keep the public happy. Right. I mean, and they're the ones, having to live in that area and drive through that area every day. It is, those people's skills are hugely important. All right. So what else? Is there anything else on this project that we should talk about?
There's a lot of things I could talk about on this project, but in general, our role is how I explain it to my friends, actually, because I don't have very many friends.
This will be good because everybody listening and watching is our friend.
Our friend?
Yeah, yes,
okay,
exactly.
Okay. So oftentimes I say, when you're driving through a project and you see people standing around a tailgate, standing around, that's probably my team. Those are my inspectors that are out in the field. They're watching the work. Typically, they're not ones with shovels, actually, constructing anything. And then I say, if you see people standing around a tailgate, that's our conference table. We're not hanging out. That's us having a meeting. And if you see a bunch of people standing and looking in a hole, we're not just looking in a hole. There's probably a conflict. There's probably a pipe. There's probably a utility issue. Something's going on down there. So, we're the people standing around, but we're making lots of decisions while doing that.
Right. Yeah, right. You're working while you stand.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how I explain it to my friends.
No,
typically.
You're right. Because I think generally speaking, like the role of inspection isn't. You just don't typically think that somebody has to, like the inspector is literally there to watch what's going on and inspect, right, and fulfill the terms of the contract, and that way. So it's, that inspection is hugely important,
right? Yes.
So what do you do? What's the what do you do? I'm not going to end the question there. What do you do?
I can keep talking.
We already covered that. No. I mean,
I got more.
I want you to talk about everything that you do and why you love it. I mean, you clearly love what you do. What's a part of what you do that excites you the most?
I think that we're just in construction. We're kind of the jack of all trades. When on the design side, there's a specialist that's geotech. There's a structural engineer. There's a traffic engineer. We're the jack of all trades. We take all these contract documents that were developed by these specialists. We have to interpret them and, use our engineering decision to make sure everything's built correctly. And I think it's fun. Every day is different. I know a lot of people say that, but we have a job basically because there are going to be issues on a project. We are charged with resolving those, like I said, and minimizing impacts. I recently heard a quote.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We like
you want to hear it? Yeah. I quoted this to somebody earlier and they said it was cheesy, but I'm going to use it anyway.
If you've listened or watched this show, I think we're cheesy. Cheesy's
all right,
okay.
Let's be cheesy.
Yeah.
All right. So calm water does not make a good sailor. And I feel like the same applies to construction engineering inspection. If everything went perfectly, I don't think I'd be the engineer that I am today. You learn, like I said, some of these issues can be very specialized. You could be talking about a bolt, believe it or not. I've had lots of
bolts are kind of important,
super important, and we've had some issues where I've really had to dive in and get into the details of that. So, or lots of things. I'm just using that down to the nitty gritty. Literally, the nuts and bolts. Those are very important.
The nuts. That's why the inspector is there to make sure that the bolt is in. Everything is done the way it should be according to the contract.
Yeah. So our job is often to be our best in rough waters.
Oh,
I brought it down full circle. You
nice.
Like it?
I liked it. The smooth sailing or smooth waters don't make a good sailor, right? Calm waters
does not make a good sailor, right? And what did I say? I liked it how I said it last.
Oh, I thought it was another quote.
No, I just made that one up.
You made it up.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. To be our best in rough waters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. No, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's how you really, we're going to put it on the screen and stuff. We're going to let it. We're gonna put
right there.
We're gonna put like an echo effect on it. Yeah,
Darn.
it's gonna
That's
be.
what people do on
on
YouTube. They're like, we're gonna put it right there.
Right there.
Yep.
The other thing that we're gonna put right there is a subscribe link. So people should subscribe, right?
Yeah.
To the podcast.
If you want to subscribe, wait over here.
You got it.
Right there.
That's perfect. Oh my gosh. You should be like the co-host of the show. We just do everyone together. You do the subscribe stuff and the points. Yeah. Oh man. So I mean, a big part of, everything that you do is there to help our clients,
right?
Right. How are you measuring the success of what you do?
So what I take the most pride in, I think, is actually developing my staff and seeing them take pride in their work and seeing how much that they grow. On our current project right now, we've had several green new blood in there, and just the amount that they have grown and learned and developed over time has been tremendous. We have people on my team right now that are actually been in their inspection role longer than I've been alive. So, and I like to say that a lot. I remind him that a lot. And,
how does he take that?
He doesn't mind. He
takes
pride in it. Yeah. But anyway, it's just cultivating the talent, whether it's existing and letting them share all of that to the young sponges, and seeing people move on, and, whether they stay under working with me, but seeing them move on into other positions is always feels really good long term. That's not a short term success, but I really, really, truly enjoy developing talent and seeing that come through fruition. Another thing is, when it comes directly with the client, is continuing to win work. If they're liking what our team is doing, I'm sure the company likes hearing that too, but we like to continue that relationship and continue to win work, continue to work with the same client. That always shows that they, that feels like a good measurement of successes. And then local to the project is, there's nothing like driving through your job, especially at the end, even years later, drive through and you look around and there's all these decisions that were made that just, even if you're a professional in the business, you don't realize all the decisions that were made on each project respectively. And so that's always fun. That's always rewarding to kind of reminisce, I guess, on your challenges and your stresses that you had to go through.
That's such a repeating theme that we hear.
Is it?
Yeah. That just when people, whoever it is, the buildings designing something, whatever, working on a project, and you get to, drive through it at some point, or like if it's a bridge or whatever, it's like, I played a role in this.
Yeah, that's why I like construction though too, is because your decisions are instantaneous.
Right.
And when you're on the design side, it can be quite some years later, especially planning before you actually see something get built. So construction's fun. You make a decision, it happens.
It's done.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about your career a little bit.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Sure.
Tell us about your career. How did you get to where you are?
All right. So I don't really know what this means, but when I was and I'll say what that means. When I was graduating college, I really loved geotech. It was fun. And I just liked the problems. And I went to my geotech professor, and he told me, and this is what I mean. I don't know what this means, because I know the first podcast was with our geotech person.
Yeah, it was. Yep. Jen Trimble.
He told me that I was too animated to be a geotechnical engineer. And I think that just means I don't want to focus on one thing. So he advised me not to focus on that and to go do the FDOT PE training program, which is actually a program where you rotate around all the different phases of a project, from planning, traffic, survey, all the way through construction. And it's a great program, actually. And so from there, when I went to the construction phase, I really fell in love. It was fun. It was instantaneous decision making. Kind of enjoyed the stress of it. And when I started off as a PA and worked myself up to a project manager, at one point in my career, when I was working there, I had the opportunity to possibly move up, and also was having the opportunity of potentially going to the consultant world. And moving up within the ranks of FDOT, you get to make an impact, but it's global. And at that time, I really wanted to be on the project and be in the nitty gritty details on the job, be in the engineering day to day. And so that's why I chose to come to RK&K and start off as a project administrator. And now I'm resident engineer or senior project engineer on the job.
Nice.
So, yes, it's fun. I like it.
Is there anything you wish you had known earlier in your career?
Of course. I think to have patience with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That also rolls over to others, but just, you're never going to know everything. And so just patience with yourself, patience with others, but don't sacrifice your expectations or level of quality and throughout that process.
So you're always moving towards that level of quality, but
Correct.
Well, with an understanding that you're not going to know it all.
You're not going to know
You're
it all
learn
right
as you
away.
go, but take
Yes.
all the opportunities you can to learn it. Yeah.
Yes. You said it better than me. Yep. Thanks for paraphrasing that.
That's I'm here to help.
You're my
when
translating the engineer, right? That's what we talk about. Office
Is that what?
space here.
Yes. All right. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
What advice? Is there any advice you would give to someone coming up in the field, who that might be interested in doing what you're doing? They're listening right now, making a decision, and they're looking to you, Lindsey Barnwell.
That's a very broad question.
Yes, I know.
So I would say take the challenges as they're presented. Jump for opportunities. Don't be afraid of a challenge, and go for it.
That also is a really consistent theme. I'm glad.
I'm consistent.
No, I'm glad you said no. I mean, we hear a lot of people say that, like, take those opportunities when they come. Don't let them pass you by. Because it seems like the people who have moved up nicely through their career, that is how they did it. Was by taking opportunities when they were presented.
Absolutely. Earlier in my career, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Any opportunity, I'm on it.
Right.
Yes.
Putting your hand up.
Yes,
which,
that was me. Yeah.
I mean, we all know there's a risk of being the one who puts your hand up.
Now I've learned.
So put your hand up early and then be more selective later on. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's
well, now you're navigating those rough seas. So I'm going to keep, I'm sticking to that theme.
We're sticking on a boat. Do you like open water, being out on boats?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Just like the analogy.
We live in Florida, so cruising is an easy thing. Like we can literally be like, we have a long weekend. Do you want to go on a cruise? And it's just a thing.
It's just a thing. Just like
port is 30 minutes from here. Yes. So.
Wow. Yeah. It's nice. It's nice when it's always warm, essentially. You can kind of always do it.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah.
It is time for your, drum roll please, pick of the week.
I think you should have a theme song for
I know.
a little deet, deet, deet.
I'm gonna do it when we get back from our road trip. I'm gonna get a little thing, and I'll have a button that I'll push, and it'll play the theme.
I like it.
I like ditty. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yes, I like it.
We'll give you credit for it.
All right. I could come up with one.
You could.
No.
Oh, I thought you were gonna write it.
I make up silly songs all the time. All the time.
So that's your other pick. Is writing silly songs is fun. That's your first? No. Okay.
No.
All right. Your real pick of the week is.
I have young humans that I have to motivate, so I'm constantly singing little silly songs.
I'm familiar with the young humans.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh man, I've got 3 of them.
Try it, and me too.
You have 3?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I got 3 girls.
2 boys and a girl.
Okay, we tried. We were variety just didn't happen for us.
Yeah. So you're done though. 3's a lot.
Please, I hope I'm done.
Yeah, 3's a lot.
3's a lot. Yeah.
We're good. I'm good. Yeah. Geez. I say all sitcoms, they have 3 children for a reason because it keeps it interesting. Have you noticed that? Most sitcoms, they have 3 kids.
I haven't, but now I'm going to go.
Well,
I'm going to pay attention. Yeah, you're right. Now,
at least the 80s, 90s ones
it's balanced. There's always that third one to throw everything off. Just when you think you're okay.
Interesting. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Parents are outnumbered.
Exactly.
You get a zone defense.
Yes.
Yep. You got to buy a minivan. Hey, minivans.
I know. That was
minivans. Minivan life.
We can have a whole nother podcast.
We could have a whole nother podcast about minivans.
Yeah, that was a huge real life moment. I'm there.
I love it. I love the minivan.
Yeah, once you dive in, it's
great. It's awesome. Like, I love this thing. So all of you judging me right now, because I have a minivan.
They're so practical.
Don't knock it till you've tried it.
I can't believe I'm talking about that right now, but this is a real life thing. Once we had the 3rd, it was in. Yeah,
this might be our last episode because of it, but it's okay. It was a good one. It went out with a bang. All right, so your real pick of the week is not minivans, but it's actually... No.
It is actually to push yourself physically.
Okay.
Yeah. So I take fitness classes, or I lift heavy, run, do body weight movements, stuff like that. And it's just fun. You push yourself to that mental capacity, you set goals. It's just nice to do something.
It's like CrossFit?
I don't want to... Yeah, but that's... Okay. Yeah, it is. But
okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on blast. Okay.
Like a stigma.
Yeah, okay. All right. It's your work. You don't see it as CrossFit, but it has...
It is CrossFit.
Okay. So you're in denial. Oh, no, but push yourself physically.
Push yourself physically. Yeah. Yes, it's awesome. It's fun to go to that place, set goals, and do it. I mean, you do that when you're younger, when you're on teams and sports or whatever. And I feel like as you become an adult, you sometimes get away from that, and it's a good stress reliever.
Are you in the morning workout camp or the evening
I've
workout?
Already done it today.
Okay.
Yes,
all right. So the morning workout
Oh
camp.
yeah. Yes.
Man, the morning workout is hard in winter, at least.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's just dark. It's still dark, and you're like, I would rather be in bed. But I imagine once you get into it, it starts to feel good.
You can think of any excuse you want to ever, but you just got to go with it.
Oh, boy. Well, Lindsey.
Yes.
This has been great. We learned some things, I think, about a whole range of stuff that you do. I'm going to get you, thank you, obviously.
Thank you. Yes.
Do you think this was a success? Yeah, I think you do. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, it was successful.
All right, good.
Do I look like it? Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
All right,
this is great. And if you haven't already, subscribe now. But thank you all for joining us. And thank you, Lindsey, for taking time out of your schedule to sit in here with us and do this podcast. Inside Engineering comes out on Tuesdays. You can watch or listen on demand at our website at rkk.com/podcast, or you can check us out on, the podcasting platforms where you can subscribe. You can like, rate, review. You can do all those things. You can share, tell people about it. We also have a feedback form on our website where you can, tell us how we did. You can give us a star rating from 1 to 5. We obviously know that what the rating for this episode should be. But tell us how you're thinking. Give us some questions that you want us to ask the guest. Anything. We appreciate you all for listening or watching, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Inside Engineering.